Hi, my name is Scotty Shoemaker. I act under the stage name Milo Scott, and today we are doing a Q&A for a film called A Sunday in May as part of Salute Your Shorts Film Festival. And today we have the filmmaker here with us, and I'm going to ask a few questions. So why don't we start by you introducing yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Scotty. Yes, my name is Carlos Matias. I wrote, edited, directed, shot the film. Yeah.
That's amazing. And where are you based?
I'm in Bronx, New York.
Cool. Awesome. Um, so I guess why don't we just start by you telling the story of how this film came to be, where you got the idea, what the impetus was, and where the inspiration came from.
Sure. Yeah. So I had been writing shorts, for a bit now. I never really shot anything. So I was stuck in quarantine. I was like, might as well start shooting something now. Obviously, there are a lot more limitations now than we had before, since we can't really go anywhere. So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty. It made it a little bit more challenging, but also a little bit more fun to try to shoot something like in this space without going anywhere, and like how I can tell the story with just like one person again, because there's no one else here to to act or like be in it or whatever. Yeah, and then I just wanted to tell the story of everything that's going on. I wasn't personally affected by by COVID, thank God, or lost a loved one, but I know I have a lot of friends who unfortunately lost family members. A few friends lost parents, so
Yeah.
I kind of really just wanted to tell their story and what everyone's really going through right now. Because even if you didn't really get affected yourself, you probably know someone, whether a loved one or celebrity, people like all these stories coming out on the news. So I really just wanted to write something that everyone can like really relate to and like tell their story.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's so incredibly important, and just the nature of this tragedy is so strange and different because it's like unseen and it's slow and it's just
Exactly.
sometimes the human impact gets a little bit lost,
Yeah.
and I think it's so important to bring it out like that in the way that you did. So
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you hear about like, you know, the number of deaths, but like each, like one death is like a story, So there's
mhm.
like all these different stories behind all these numbers that we're just like, oh yeah, this state has this many numbers, this has this many numbers, but there's like real people behind that.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's why this is so incredibly important. Yeah. So going back to your introduction, what you're saying, you pretty much you did everything on this film.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I wrote it specifically to I wrote this film specifically, with what was happening, and to shoot it like now in my house. Because any other thing I wanted to shoot, I really couldn't go outside to do stuff. So I
Hmm.
was trying to write something that I can shoot in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote it. Took me like a week or a couple of days to write it, a couple of days to shoot it. I shot it all on my iPhone. I didn't have any equipment.
Oh, wow.
I shot it all on
Okay.
my phone.
Entirely on your iPhone. What did you use for sound?
So for sound, I actually got a cousin of mine to record the mother's voice,
Okay.
and she's in Virginia. So I sent her the script. So she
Hmm.
had to read the script, and she emailed me like an audio file,
Hmm.
and I just put that in there. So I had to like time her script and like what I was saying, since we weren't gonna be in the same
Oh,
room.
then did that part come first so that you could time the rest of it, or was that done in editing, the timing?
Oh no, so that part came first.
The recording came first.
Yes, the recording came first. Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
cool.
shot. So basically, I shot all the different parts of the day, as he was going throughout his day, all the
Hmm.
activity, everything he was doing.
Yeah.
And I just had a bunch of footage. So then I had the script. I made her read me the script. I took that audio file and kind of just built all the all the visuals around like that the audio file.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. And there was some audio of you as well at the very end. Was that just iPhone
Yeah,
done on your iPhone? So it's
yeah.
all just
I still have some problem, some issues like going back and listening to it because like my voice You're like, that's me on it, you know?
No, but it's great, and I just love that we're in this age where you could do that and make like a good quality film, literally just your iPhone and nothing else.
Thank you. Like, so I have friends who have like a lot of equipment and rigs. Excuse me. So whenever we're gonna shoot something, they handle all that stuff.
Hmm.
I didn't have anything, and people were asking me how was I able to get like all the different angles. So basically, I had a selfie stick. Don't ask me why I have a selfie
Hey,
stick.
no judgment here.
I had a selfie stick, and I would tape the selfie stick to different parts around the house.
Oh, yeah,
Like
seriously?
like
So not even a tripod. I was assuming it was a
no,
tripod with your phone on it.
I didn't even have a tripod. Like I use my friend's equipment, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just had a selfie stick. I would tape it to the chair.
Like with
Put
duct
the
tape?
Yeah, with duct tape. I was able to like pivot the phone on the selfie stick. I'd maybe tape it to like the fridge and like pivot. Yeah, so it was all selfie stick and an iPhone, and yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. And that's why there was this whole part for quarantine films because it's just like, well, one, it's really important to like document this time period, but also like the restrictions make for some really interesting things. Yeah.
Very interesting. I saw some of the other films in like the festival, and it's mind blowing what people can do with like when you have like such a small box to play in. You
Hmm.
start really getting creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that I was interested in was that you didn't really show your face at all the whole time. It was a lot of like your hands and like the daily routine, and I was just curious if that was what the intention was behind
So honestly, like my beard was looking horrible that day, so I didn't want to show my face.
that. Fair enough. Fair
No, no,
enough.
I'm
Looks
kidding.
great today. It looks good right now. Yeah.
No, no, honestly, again, like I wanted it to be more about. I wanted to be super relatable and relevant, to anyone who's like going through it or knows people who are going through it.
Hmm.
So, and it's not a unique story, like a lot of people are losing loved ones, unfortunately. So I didn't want it to be like, oh, here's like this unique story about a son who didn't get to say goodbye to his mother because she, died suddenly, and all these things were unresolved. It's probably not unique right now, So I just wanted it to be more of a like holistic story of what's happening versus
Yeah.
like a story about this one kid. So that was done on purpose. I was like, let me like not show my face and like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. When I was watching it, I was like, okay, this could be like a historical document if someone was watching it 20 years down
Oh
the
wow.
road of like what a right, what a typical Sunday in May might be or something for someone going through this. And it's just like captured that little snapshot of
Yeah. Oh,
any of yeah, of
yeah.
any life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, well, wow. So I guess I was curious about how have some of the reactions to the film been? What did you expect when you were making it? Did you expect it to go to festivals, or do you just want to make it and see what happens? Or
I honestly didn't expect it to go to festivals at all. So, so I shot it and then I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, oh, let me, again, I just want to like do stuff and make stuff while I'm at home. And, I can't really, no one can really do anything. So I was like, oh, let me shoot it and maybe like put it on my Instagram or put it on YouTube and hey, link in bio, drive some people to it.
yeah,
I sent it to some friends who work in film and they were like, oh, this is great. You should start sending it around to like some festivals and see what happens. And then I found
are they the ones that told you that like certain festivals were having quarantine specific filmmaking
yeah,
categories and stuff? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then I saw like quarantine specific categories, and I found you guys and I was like, oh, let me send this out. It's perfect.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as the reception, I wasn't expecting it was a little overwhelming. Cause like when I threw it together, it came, I put it together like piece by piece, so like the ending wasn't as impactful on me, as someone who might be seeing it for the first time.
Hmm.
But once I finished it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. It came out great. I sent it out, and then some people were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is so sad. Like, this ruined my day. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Like, so it was way more impactful than I thought it was. Like, some friends reached out to me. One friend was like, he had lost his mother actually years ago, and he was like, bro, you don't know what I would do to just have like one voicemail from
Oh
her.
man.
You know, like
Yeah.
something I go and listen to. I had another friend who lost a dad, and before he passed away, they had she had recorded a video recording him on
Mm.
video, and but he didn't know, and it was like just super spontaneous. He ended up passing, and she kept that recording, the only recording he has of him.
Oh
And she
man.
reached out to me after, and she was like, it's so true, because like once he passed, she would play that video, like she would just watch it for hours, and it's like a
Really?
couple minutes, you know. So once everyone started reaching out and telling me, some friends were like, oh, I saw it and I started crying, you know. That's when I realized, like, wow, this is like really, like, this is true, and like this is, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, uh, mhm.
The same thing. I mean, it had the same effect on me as well because I mean, and it's a testament to the writing, right? It starts out you think it's just kind of an everyday voicemail, right?
Yeah,
And in the
yeah,
end, it turns into something else, and that's like a real gut punch that happens. But it's interesting that you say that when you get in the process of making it, and you're so deep in it, you kind of forget that that's going to happen to someone who watches it for the first time.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I didn't think it was, you know, that sad. You know, I was like, so yeah, I really didn't think it was, you know, that sad. You know, I thought it was very real and very true. You know, but just so deep into it, I really didn't realize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think people are really grateful to have it. So
yeah. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, yeah. I guess we'll start wrapping up. But I was curious about if you could talk if there was any difference between the perception of the world or quarantine in New York that has changed from when you made the film to now, and just like how that is all the difference between that world and this world. That I was just curious about if
Yeah,
there's any comments you have on that in relation to the film.
yeah. You mean this world as in like how everything's going on like today at the moment?
Yeah, I suppose so. Because you made it in, was it? Did you make it in May?
In, I believe it was in May. Yeah, and we're, oh wow, we're in
And
August.
now we're in August now,
Oh wow,
and it's
time.
still, and obviously this is still going on. But I guess
Yeah,
things are a little bit better in New York, but things are worse in other states. It's just
yeah,
at the
yeah. It's
time you made it, did you expect by August to be for it to still be going on, or I don't know. I'm
oh
just curious. Yeah.
no, yeah. I mean, there's like really no ending in sight, but I didn't think it was gonna go that far into it. You
Hmm.
know, like yeah, I shot it in May, and we're now in August, and it's pretty still pretty much the same thing. At least for some people, I feel like, you know, there's some places where everyone's getting a little bit tired of being stuck at home, maybe not taking it as serious.
Yeah.
You know, things, it feels like things are kind of on the decline right now, in some places at least. I know New York, they mentioned like we went for the first time without having a death in one day, which is a crazy fact, you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
it's a good thing. But it's like we're celebrating no one died from COVID today, you know. And it's unfortunate, but it's still pretty much the same as far as like the way we got to take care of ourselves. But the way some people are just like being a little neglectful, you know. I started at the time, it was, I feel like quarantine was way more strict, you know, like
Yeah.
nothing was really open yet, nobody was really going out. People took the sign of like things opening. I was like, okay, we can like go out now. People are throwing parties. You know, I started going out just like for walks, and you see a lot more people in the street. I'm like, you should be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty much the same. But some people aren't taking it as serious, I guess. And I don't know where, when this is gonna end.
Hmm. But obviously, the people who are taking it less serious are the ones that are most visible, right? The people who are out on the streets, and I still think the majority of people are still doing
That's true.
exactly what you were doing in the film in May. And so I just think it's really interesting that that film, A Sunday in May, could be a Sunday in August,
Yeah,
and who knows how long this could
yeah,
last. Yeah.
yeah. A Sunday in August of 2021. You never
Yeah,
know.
I certainly
You
hope
never know.
not, but
Yeah, and that's a great point that you just made, that the people you do see are the people who would be breaking, like
Yeah, I
rules.
mean, if someone's out at a bar and they're playing music, or if someone's having a party, it's like super visual, so it seems like everybody's breaking the rules, but it's probably still a pretty small
Yeah, because that's just
percentage.
when I talk to a lot of people and they're like, yeah, I still haven't left my house.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I think I've covered most of the questions that I wanted to ask. Thank you so much. And the last questions to wrap up would be, I guess, what's next for you, what you're working on, and how can people follow your career going forward?
Yeah, definitely. As following my career, you can follow me on Instagram, Showdelos. That's SHAWTYLOS.
Great.
Um, as far as what's next, I'm just gonna keep writing some shorts. Trying to see what I can shoot that doesn't, now I can probably like go outside and do stuff like around the neighborhood, so a little bit more freedom.
Yeah. And you were saying you're in the past you've primarily been a writer, and this was kind of your first foray into filming. Are you going to do more filming going forward, or stick more with writing, or?
Um, I like the filming. Honestly, the filming came from a necessity because I didn't have anyone to shoot it
Right, right.
for me. But I loved it, and just like the response I've been getting. So I definitely want to write stuff and maybe start shooting a lot more stuff myself. I'm working on a documentary with some friends about like the NYC bodega and like its cultural impact, like on society and economy and all
Yes.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh, I
that.
love that.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks. Yeah,
I
so
just,
that.
well, I mean, I've never lived in New York. I visited many times. I've had lots of friends that lived in New York, and bodega culture is such a thing. And I love bodegas just visiting, but also my friends who have moved from New York to LA just miss bodegas so much. They're like, where can I get my egg and cheese? Like, what is this city like LA? There's nowhere to just get a quick breakfast. Da, da, da. And everyone's got their like local bodega shop where they know everybody. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm on board. I think that's awesome.
yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's a huge part of the lifestyle. Like, them, you can go in hungover at like 2, 3 a.m. and they know exactly what you're gonna order. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So yeah, we're
exactly.
working on that. Me and a friend are writing that, and another friend is gonna shoot it. So aiming for next year, and then just like writing some more shorts and maybe filming them myself until I can get out there and and shoot stuff.
Awesome. Well, I can't
Yeah.
wait to follow you on Instagram and see all that stuff come out.
Thanks, man.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Really nice talking to you, Carlos.
Great talking to you, Scott.